Hi Scorpio, I'm Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot, and I am here to do your December reading. So I am in Carmel, Indiana. I am a Libra Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon, and normally what I do is pull 4, 5, 6, however many tarot cards want to come out, and decide what the energy is, figure out if we're talking about love or life or health or work or whatever, and then kind of go from there and clarify with some different oracle cards that I have. And I have some new ones that I got this weekend called Sacred Traveler that I want to try out. So anyway, let's see what's going on for December. Scorpio, please. One. The World card in reverse. The Devil card. Holy moly. 5 of Swords in reverse. Tumultuous, it feels. All of those came out, so let's take them all. Okay, what do we got here? The World in reverse. So the first thing that it feels like something fell out from underneath of you. And it caused you to revert to some bad habits. So you were expecting something, you were hopeful and excited and looking forward to something, and whatever that something was, it feels like the rug got pulled out from underneath of you, and it like really kind of messed you up mentally. You weren't prepared for that. You really thought everything was going forward. At this point in time, I can't really tell if it was a relationship or you were expecting a new job, or maybe you lost your job or whatever, but something didn't work out in your favor, and it led you to some major anxiety and perhaps going back to some bad habits, whether it was obsessive thinking or whether it was drinking or eating or something that caused you to go back to some bad habits that maybe you had gotten over or maybe you'd never done before. 5 of Swords in the reverse position. You thought that the sun was coming out. You thought that everything was going to be okay, and this little setback here has, even though this was in the reverse position, it feels like some black clouds have come over you majorly. You were waiting on some communication. I guess you were waiting on communication from a work project. I feel like it had something to do with some money, something that you had your hopes up for that didn't work out. And although the 4 of Cups came up in the reverse position, it still feels like you are looking at everything from the negative perspective instead of what you learned from this lesson. I feel like there was a major learning lesson that was to happen or is happening, and you are not seeing it that way at this moment in time. I do feel like you will see it in the future. And then the 3 of Wands came up in the reverse position, which normally I would look at that and I'm like, he's kind of looking at it and he feels like he's missed the boat. But I feel like you're going to come around and you're going to see this as a blessing in disguise and realize, shoo, that actually was probably a bullet I dodged and was a good thing that that happened. Although it's going to take you a while to get to that point. So whatever has just happened, you may you may reel from it in the beginning and you may think, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could have happened. But in the end, you're kind of going to be like, holy cow, I think I dodged a bullet and everything's going to work out in your favor. I want to do, let's see what happens. Give me some clarifying cards on the future for this. You're not going to be left out in the cold. Five of Pentacles came up. You know, like at the beginning of it, you're thinking, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. And the sky is falling. And so that was in reverse. So no, the sky is not falling. You're not going to get kicked out of your house and become homeless. And the worst case scenario that's going through your mind is not actually going to happen. Give me some future cards here to give us an idea of what's going to happen with this situation that kind of rocked your world there for a little bit. Two of Cups. So it was a new beginning of a love. Maybe that gets delayed. Maybe that's what it had to do with. Perhaps what rocked your world was a breakup or almost a breakup or something. And now it's like, I feel like you're like going, oh my God, this is going to delay everything. It kind of feels like maybe there were some wedding plans or something that you were starting to think about. And you, although there is no tower moment here, it kind of feels like there could have been a tower moment. And it's delayed things. It doesn't feel like it's ended things. It feels like it's delayed things. Only to you, it feels like it's the worst thing in the world that could have happened. And someone in this whole process is kind of like trying to sneak away and not own up. I feel like someone is not wanting to own up to their part in the whole thing. So I think that's part of the frustration is I keep seeing the World and the Devil card, and I feel like everything landed on your shoulders and everything got kind of, the fingers all got pointed at you, but it wasn't necessarily all your fault that this happened, whatever this is. And I would be curious if you guys watch this, if you can tell me what that was, so I can understand myself. Let's get one more card here. See, there's that Ten of Cups in the happy family in the reverse position. So it does, again, because the Ten of Cups came up in the future and the Two of Cups comes up, even though they're in the reverse position, I feel like it's not a breakup, but more of a delay. Something happened. I'm still trying to kind of figure out what exactly happened. Let's do some mixed emotions and see if I can figure out, or we can figure out exactly what happened, or the emotions around the whole thing. What emotions are around this delay, this whatever happened? Okay, so encouraged came up first. You were feeling encouraged. You thought things were moving forward. You thought you were being supported. You were feeling good about something. And you were feeling inspired. Okay, we get that. This is how you were before everything happened. Hateful came up in the reverse position. Okay, let's keep going here. And now you're feeling stressed. So that goes along with the Devil card. And people do things when they're feeling stressed. Somebody was feeling stressed. Someone was feeling pressure. So what I see when I look at this is somebody was seeing pressure and they let go of some pressure. And I feel like that's what's kind of happened, is there was like a blow up. So there was a pressure cooker that happened, and that's when the world got flipped upside down and everything. So it does look like there was some sort of a fight that happened. Whoops. So somebody let go of some major stress that had been building up about a situation. Curious in the reverse position. Okay, so now that just feels like there's been a just complete shutdown. Whoever, like, is it you that shut down or the other person? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. The whole, okay, so what I feel like I'm seeing is a production line. Like a factory production line, and everything's moving along, and it's just a chugging along, and everything's going along all of a sudden, and all of a sudden there was a screech. It came to a screeching halt, and there was a chink in the chain, or a link in the chain broke. Something broke, and it just went and just stopped everything from moving forward. And now there's just like this complete breakdown at the moment. And everybody's kind of running around like chicken with their heads cut off going, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. So whatever happened has got a few people stressed out about something. I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to see if we can figure out what's... Obviously, I mean, it's just a delay. I feel like it is a delay and only a delay. And honestly, it kind of does feel like there were like wedding plans or something. You were making plans to move forward in a wedding. You were making plans to buy a house together. You were making plans for your happy family, and something happened and just kind of flipped everything on its head. These are my new cards, the Sacred Traveler cards. So let's see what the Sacred Traveler cards have to say about this situation. Universe, give us some advice on what we can do to realize why this chink happened and why the stop, and how we can see a blessing out of this whole thing at the moment when all you can see is disaster. I mean, I feel like that's what it is. All you can see at the moment is disaster. There will come a time when you're going to be like, whew, that was a close call. This worked out for the best, but right now you're not seeing that. Unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. All right. So that's Spirit's way of saying they're not going to reveal it probably exactly what's going on right now. There is a learning lesson that is coming, and you are exactly where you need to be. And you need to understand that sometimes things happen that are out of your control. And sometimes I think the universe does that just so they can go, listen, we've got a handle on this. We're looking out for you. We've got your back. You need to let us take care of things, and everything's going to work out in your favor. You will see that. But at this point in time, you're not seeing that. Okay, so what else do they have to say? Let's see what this card says. Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. Okay, to me that's saying that you need to take a breather. Probably journal, meditate, get a grip, and get in touch with your inner self and start thinking things through, and let some of this, I feel like dust, let the dust settle from this incident that happened, and start thinking about where to go from here. You're going to have to work on plan B and C and D, because plan A is obviously has changed course. And since you we're full steam ahead on that. Now you need to start working on B, C, and D, and be GUMBY and a little more flexible. Sometimes, and I think that's what the universe likes to teach us, is flexibility and not getting so caught up on the way we think things are supposed to happen. What else would you like to tell us about this situation? Zip. Distant thunder, clear the air. I feel like this means you need to have a talk with somebody. Perhaps there's somebody involved in this situation that you need to clear the air with. I feel like a lot of this stress is some unknown stuff, and it's bigger in your head than it is in real life. And a conversation with this person that helped create this negative incident will help you de-stress and help you move on to the next plan. Discovering truth. Okay, that goes along with the clear the air. I feel like you have made up a lot of stuff in your mind because you don't have all of the details at the beginning. All you see is like this big explosion, and you don't have all of the puzzle pieces in place yet. So take a minute after it happens and get the truth and get all the puzzle pieces and get them in place, and things will make more sense after that happens. Because when this first happens, all I can say is it really rocks your world and creates a lot of doubt and trauma and chaos. Get ready for new horizons, faraway places. I feel like this is the universe's way of saying, we're taking you to a better place. Get ready and just let us handle things. It's, like I said, plan A is not going to work the way you thought it was. Perhaps it was, you had your heart set on having a wedding at a certain destination, and you found that show, Bridemaids Wars, I don't know. Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson was in it. And they found out they both wanted to have their wedding. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm mixing a movie up. There's some movie where these people want to have their wedding at a certain place, and they find out after they've made all these plans that it's already booked with somebody else. And so they go to all of these great lengths trying to sway this person away from that. That's kind of what I'm seeing. So I'm feeling like, you lost your caterer, you lost the location that you were supposed to have your wedding. The bride got cold feet. The groom got cold feet. Something major happened that kind of blew everything up. Again, I feel like it's going to be okay. There's just going to be a delay, and you'll get through this. So just take a chill pill. There are lessons to be learned here. And the lessons are that the universe has control of everything, and you have control of absolutely nothing, whether you think you do or not. And the universe always wins. So you need to get used to that. So especially if you're a very young person, this makes me think of the time I was in college, and I had went to one school for a while and then changed back, and my original goal was to be through school in 4 years. And because I switched schools, it knocked me off a semester, and you would have thought my world had come crashing to an end, because I was so devastated because I was going to have to take a semester off because they said there wasn't enough. I waited too late and too many classes were filled and it was going to be a waste of my money. And I remember the counselor saying, if I were you, I would take this semester off and come back in the spring and for the spring semester. Otherwise, you've only got a handful of classes you can take and it's going to be a waste of money. And that was not in my plan. I mean, 4.5 years to 5 years was not my plan for school. My plan was to be done in 4 years, and the universe had other plans for me. And that's kind of how this whole thing feels is, you know, I was on a track of, you know, I'm going to have this happen and this happen and this happen and this happen. And the universe went, nope, that's not what we have planned for you. So that's the feeling I'm getting from this whole reading, is plan A is not happening. Hidden blessings. I think I already talked about that at the beginning. At the end of this, you're going to be like, shoo, that worked out for the good. And there were hidden blessings. You'll see it eventually. You just don't see it when it first happens. Forward movement. So there will be forward movement. It's not going to be, it won't be at a screeching halt for the whole thing. Well, I wanted that one, but it had 2 coming out, so I should have taken the 2. Keep trying. Acceptance. Yeah, and they're saying you need to accept what's happened, and yeah, I love it when the cards kind of come out the way I've just described the whole situation, and they are confirmation for me. Just accept what's happened and move on, and get clear on the new plan. Get clear on where you're going now. Work on plan B and C, be Gumby. I sold real estate for a long time, and that was one of the things that I always told the sellers and buyers is you need to be Gumby when you are buying a house or selling a house, because there are so many things that can go wrong and so many parts and pieces to the whole situation that one person not doing their job right can put a kink in the whole thing. And there would be some people that were so hell-bent on having everything, you know, they had to have everything controlled down to the very last minute. If any little thing popped up from the side and knocked them off kilter, I mean, you would have thought their world had come to an end. And they made it very stressful for everybody, for themselves, for the realtors, for the mortgage people, the title people, and everybody involved, because they didn't know how to go with the flow. So if this is your first time of having something like this happen and you haven't learned how to go with the flow yet, let me tell you, this is going to keep happening until you learn you don't have control of jack shit. So get over it. That's the only thing I can say. And then be kind to everybody. Be kind to everybody in the process, because shit happens, and shit happened for you, and it'll be okay. You know, it'll all work out. Just take a breather, take a chill pill, and try not to have a meltdown. And I will see you guys middle of December, and we'll see where things are at. Bye.